Hi, everybody, it's Mission Man, and this is the behind the songs for track 9. I'm going to be breaking down the lyrics pretty thoroughly, much more so than I have in past behind the songs, because there is so much depth, so many layers to the lyrics in track 9. Starting with the chorus, I'm on track 9 in the cloud. It has probably 7 or 8 meanings that I mean to convey, and then of course there's the open for interpretation meanings that all of you can attribute to the song through your own point of view on what track 9 is. The most straightforward ones are track 9. It is the 9th song on my album Gummy. Gummy is my brand new album that came out on January 19th, 2022. Track 9 is the 9th out of 10 songs on the album. In the cloud, meaning the most literal one of on the cloud on the internet, or in the cloud on the internet, and one more time, in the cloud on the internet. So track 9, in the cloud, meaning on the internet. And at that point, it's not just something that I created. It's something that now takes on its own meaning for anybody who's listening. So by being on the cloud, being out there in the world, it is now its own thing and gets to grow to whatever size cloud you can imagine. And because it's out there for all of you to take in. The next kind of not as obvious is if you rearrange the words, instead of I'm on track 9 in the cloud, it is I am on cloud track 9, or if you take out the word track in that case, it becomes I'm on cloud 9, which is an old expression that's still used somewhat for just being elated, being ecstatic, just being on, above the world on this cloud 9 floating, just a tremendous feeling of wonderment. And that is an ode to music. In my case, it is where I am when I'm making music. That's what I've kind of found as my purpose. I make music because I love doing it, and I love the things that it's given me, and I love the things that I've been able to get back to it. And so there's I'm on track 9, I'm on cloud 9, meaning there's also a deeper metaphor of not being at the very beginning of a journey. So, if I were on track 1, that's the very beginning. Or even track 0, or if you want to get really weird, track -1, whatever starting point you want. But track 9 it's not the beginning. It can be a beginning all the time, but it's not the beginning of a particular journey. And in the case of the album, because there are 10 tracks, it is very close to the end of that journey. However, my second album, Delve Deeper, is a double disc with 33 tracks. And so 9 out of 33, it's still not the beginning of the journey, but it's much closer to the beginning than it is to the end. And of course, I've recorded over 200 songs, so 9 out of 200, you're even more close to the beginning, but it's still not the very first step in that journey. And so there's the metaphor there of being somewhere a significant portion into this journey, and depending on how you interpret things is whether or not you think it's kind of close to the end of this journey, close to the beginning, somewhere in the middle, third of the way through, whatever it is for you. And as an extension of that metaphor, that can be used for life in general. I've always thought that I'm going to be at least 90 years old, and I could see myself living to be 140 with advances in technology and healthcare and all of these other things. That's always been my mindset, is that's just how long I expect to live. I know a lot of people who've never had that mindset, who believe that, they're surprised that they've made it to 40 or 30 or 25 or whatever it is they're there, or they've made it beyond what they thought, and so that they're just into bonus time. And so, as a metaphor, it's up to you in your own perspective how you interpret that metaphor. So those are the big ones for track 9. There's also the imaginative track 9 of, is there's this track 9 that's actually out into outer space or in your imagination somewhere. It could be, I talk about a hyperplane later in the song, so it could be the 9th dimension out of 10 within this hyperplane. There's all sorts of things that track 9 can mean from an imaginative standpoint. So that's all just the chorus, the just overall meaning of the song. And that's why I'm going into such a thorough breakdown of the song, is in case you want to know all of these things that I intend to come across, as well as, of course, whatever your own interpretation is of the lyrics. What they mean for you when you're listening to them is more important than what they mean when I write them. I mean, they mean a lot to me, but however you interpret the song and however the song means for you is what's most important. So let's go on to the actual lyrics now. Track 9 is a mystery. Is it for me to discover and unravel? Will I love a just travel? Being thrown like a devil, being judged as a devil renders a verdict. So track 9 is a mystery. I think that's just a fun way to start a song. And the way I started writing the song was really just, I was listening to the music and writing at the same time. So it's very stream of consciousness when I started. And when I was writing it, it was a little bit of a mystery to me what it was going to be. But as I continued writing the song throughout, it became more and more clear to me. But it's also, is it for me to discover and unravel? Well, partially for me to discover and unravel. I mean, that's why I'm making this video. But it's also for you to discover and unravel in your own mind. Will I love or just travel? Love sometimes can take on a context of settling down and then staying kind of in one place. You make a home, you get your kids enrolled in school, you end up staying in the same area for a decade or 2 or 6. There's a settling idea with love. Not for everybody, of course, just as a general kind of statement. You can obviously be in love with somebody, have a partner that is just as in love with travel as you are and go all over the globe, even go up into space on one of these new space rockets. So, it's not a 100% metaphor, and I don't think there really is much out there that's 100%, but as a general kind of idea, for me personally, as someone who has been single most of the time, traveling, like I was in 32 states in 2019. In 2020, I was just in one. There's a huge contrast between those two lifestyles. And so that's the metaphor I'm going for there. Being thrown like a javel, obviously javelin. I just took off the end for the rhyme scheme, but you don't always have control over what's happening in your life. Not completely. You control your reactions. You control how you respond to something. But there are so many things in this life that are beyond my control and beyond anyone's control, and it just sometimes can feel like you're being thrown like a javelin. And so that's where that metaphor is coming in. Being judged as the gavel renders the verdict. You can be judged by society. You can be judged by yourself. How do you respond to that judgment? I've had so many people say mean things about my music. I even had a blogger recently when I submitted my music to him, like, this doesn't sound like a real song, specifically referring to track 9. So I'm like, all right, well, I mean, that's your opinion. It's not mine. I love the song. I think it's possibly my best song. It's certainly my favorite at the moment. I do tend to skew towards my more recent songs, but definitely right now, if you ask me about what my favorite song of mine is, it is track 9. But the whole point of that is, whether or not somebody's judging you or you're maybe even judging yourself, it's how do you respond to those things? And did I listen as I heard it? Did it sink in like the kitchen? That's a metaphor, not just the sink being in the kitchen, but also I've lived in some pretty terrible apartments where the kitchen actually sinks in, like the floor of the kitchen sinks in. So there's just hopefully a humorous visual for you. Or am I off on a tangent, being sent in a new direction that doesn't require introspection? So again, the being thrown like a javel combined with the being judged, being sent off. You can either be sent off on that tangent and be thrown off to it, or, if you aren't really paying attention to what somebody's saying, sometimes your mind goes off on a tangent. So both those meanings are there. Being sent in a new direction, same thing, whether you're mentally in a new direction because you weren't really paying attention to that judgment, or you've just decided to embrace this tangent, embraced being thrown by the javelin, and just let yourself soar off that way. That doesn't require introspection. I mean, you can just shoot off and let the world take you and not have to look back. Do I even pause at the intersection or let it be? Intersection again, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let myself be thrown and see where I end up on this imaginative tangent. And even though I can't see what's around me, even though I don't fully understand it, I'm just gonna go for it. And even though I can't see as I vector off on this trajectory, again, tangent, trajectory, the sector's soft, but you still can't get to me. Now I made a mistake recording the song, and it said I actually say the vector soft in the song, but it's supposed to be the sector. Either one works, because with a soft vector, I see it more as like a vector that kind of trails off a little bit. A soft sector, I'm thinking like a space sector. It's not, instead of being hard or difficult or dangerous, it's soft, it's nice and easy. Either way, that works for me, but you still can't get to me because I've just been thrown off on this tangent that I don't know where I am, much less how to get you there. But I say, so I leave a trail that you can follow if you want to, whether that's space dust or Reese's Pieces or M&Ms or whatever I'm leaving for you to follow that tangent. I hope that you come along for it, both in the metaphor of, listening to the song and coming to my track 9, but also following whatever path that you're following. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have arrived, hoping you will follow. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the want to and the 1, 2. There's the homonym there in the rhyme scheme. But 3, 4, 5. The reason I have 3, 4, 5 instead of just 3, 4 is because the song's actually in 9/4 time. It's It's 3 measures of 4/4 and then a measure of 6/4 compounds to 9/4 time. But it just means it's an odd time signature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is different than 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have arrived, hoping you will follow. So my words aren't hollow. And it just means, I love for you to be on track 9 with me, listening to what I'm saying, hanging out with me. In the case of track 9 as the song, obviously I hope that you hear the songs and that they don't just ring hollow for you. Why was 6 scared of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. It's just one of my favorite punny jokes, but also because the song is track 9 and the song is in 9/4 time, the 7, 8, 9 works in that respect as well. Oh, never mind. It's actually right here on this track, and I don't need to go back. Right here on this track, meaning, again, it's track 9, 9/4 time, and I don't need to go back. I don't need to revisit wherever the tangent came from. I just want to see where I'm going. I go back into the chorus, and then the next verse, track 9, and I'm feeling fine with the back line, so I stack time to gain efficiency, but it doesn't listen to. So specifically what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about stacking time is abstract algebra. There you have like groups and fields, and basically musically it can work the same way, where you get your drum track, your bass track, your guitar track, your vocal track, whatever other tracks you have. You can keep stacking them on top of each other, and the track is still the same length because you're stacking it this way and not with. And so I'm stacking time to gain efficiency, but it doesn't listen. Time doesn't listen to me. I have no control over time whatsoever. It's an abstract track as the back lacks a few subtleties as I puzzle the elements that are relevant. So when I was actually writing these lyrics, I only had the demo part. So I had the drums, the bass, the ocarina sound, and I was writing the lyrics to that. So at that time, the backing tracks lacked subtlety. So I was thinking about the elements that were relevant within the song, and what I could do to spice the song up or add seasoning. As I use my reasoning to get rid of my excuses, just some wordplay. As I use this platform and heat source to stay warm and eat more. Platform meaning a track 9. Platform meaning my music. Platform meaning my lyrics. Platform meaning right now this video that I have for you. Heat source to stay warm and eat more. I think at that point it's pretty self-explanatory, except working on my recipe for success. That's where eat more comes into working on my recipe for success. But yes, I've already achieved it just by being here, being weird and embracing it, facing it, making it laugh with me. So most of that's pretty straightforward. and give me energy positive that you'll get to me. That has two meanings. The energy itself being positive, that you'll give me positive energy. The other one being back to the earlier, I left you a trail for you to follow, and I'm using my energy to believe positively that you will follow that trail and arrive at track 9 with me. And as I start to see some familiar places from similar places, the familiar faces, meaning, yes, you're here. My fans are here. My new fans are here. My friends are here from similar places. That can be, just you're a musician just like me. You're a creative type just like me. You're a friend of mine. So maybe you're from my hometown. No one can erase this once others arrive. Now, I've made the song. I put it out there. If nobody's heard it yet, it can still be erased. But once people start hearing it, once it starts getting into their minds, once people have been to track 9, whether the actual song track 9 or my abstract idea of track 9, at that point it's in people's minds. You can't erase it anymore. The idea is out there. The song is out there. You can't erase it completely. I'm loving your vibe. Just, nice little rhyme with others arrive. And I'm loving the fact that you're here with me on this track 9 journey and listening to the song or hanging out in my hyperspace track 9. Thanks for finding the ride and the drive to find track 9. So finding the ride, whether you're riding along with somebody, or finding the ride, meaning your own ride, and the drive to find track 9. Just thank you for the effort to come listen to my song and hang out with me in my Hyperplane space station. Back to the chorus, and then the third verse starts off, what's next is anyone's guess, because I don't know when I put this out there what's going to happen. I don't know if people are going to love it. I don't know if people are going to hate it. I don't know if people are going to follow me to track 9. I don't know what's going to happen in life. It doesn't matter if track 9 is the best. It's not a contest. This relates back to, I'm much happier with music ever since I've kind of let go of a lot of the competitive side of things. And there's still, some competitive spirit in me for sure. But as far as music goes, I don't care if my song is better than somebody else's song. I don't care if I'm a better rapper than another artist. I don't care if I'm a better singer. I don't care if I'm a better guitar player. I don't care if I'm a better producer than anybody else. That's not what music is about for me. And that's the whole point of track 9. It doesn't matter if it's better than another song. It's about whether or not you connect with it, whether or not it's something that serves a purpose for me. Because even if other people don't connect with it, it's still connected with me, and it's something that I'm absolutely elated that I made. It's all about feeling fresh, so come dressed any way that you want to. Again, that's just do your thing, be who you are, come as you are, and listen as you are. I'm certainly not going to judge anybody for any of the music that they make or any of the things that they do. That's just not who I am. I hope you're having fun too. If you make a track 10, if you make a track 10, then I'll try to come visit you and listen too. And I hope that you relate to my song. I hope that you're getting into it. I hope that you've enjoyed your journey with me. I hope that you like my music. And if you are creative yourself, whether you're making movies or songs, I definitely want to come check out your track 10. What's next for you, and listen to it. And it can be in a similar vein to what I'm doing. It can expand on track 9. You could actually make a track 10 that's like a reaction to track 9, or you could make something completely different. Either way, because it's something that you're doing that you love doing, it's something I want to check out. And so whether you're expanding this tangent or in a completely different hyperplane with a finer name in 9 dimensions. So a hyperplane, it's I believe it's a plane with one more dimension than the number. So a hyperplane in 9 dimensions, I think that means the hyperplane actually has 10 dimensions to it, something like that. It was a geometry term that I knew at one point, and I looked it up, and I remembered it when I wrote it. But now it's really just this abstract idea of there are more than three. It was more than three dimensions. I can't really wrap my head around what the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth dimensions are anyway. So it's all up to imagination at that point. Some mathematicians and scientists will argue with me there, but I'm going for it's just your imagination. As far as you want that imagination to reach, whatever your 9 dimensions are. With a finer name in 9 dimensions, just leave some fine directions. If you get really obscure, leave me a way to find it. And I'll try to find the exits, if I'm on that same kind of tangent or road or track, that outer space track that I'm just following along. I want to find the exits so that I can hop off and go check out what you're doing and hop right back on. And like getting hit in the solar plexus. I don't try to find the exits, ride the nexus. Like getting hit in the solar plexus, I will let this take my breath away. I was having fun with that rhyme scheme, but solar plexus, I've been hit in the solar plexus a few times while playing basketball or in gym class, and it does take your breath away. It's happened like 2 or 3 times in my life, and it's not like anything else I've experienced, because other times, like, I've been out of breath and trying to catch it and be like, trying to get it back. But that's you can't actually breathe. You can't breathe in that air. So it's another level of taking your breath away. No matter how long I get to stay. So whether I'm, whether or not music becomes my career and I get to stay as a professional musician, or whether or not this song has huge traction across the world, or a handful of people listen to it, or in the case of visiting your track 10, no matter how long I get to stay, I want to embrace it as much as possible and let it take my breath away. Let it become an experience that, if you're shut off from, if I were to shut myself off from that, I could just be like, it's a song, it's something, whatever. But I want to embrace things. I want to enjoy life as much as possible, enjoy experiences as much as possible, in a way that takes my breath away. There's one more thing that I've yet to say. I love you, all of you. Pretty straightforward. I love all of you. And it's almost a homonym. I love you, all of you. Just a slight difference in the vowel there at the beginning. And that's how I end the song before going back into the chorus. And so yeah, that's the many meanings behind track 9. That's why I wanted to break it down so much. It is a complex song. If you do have any questions about any of the individual lines that I have, feel free to leave those questions in the comments. If you haven't listened to the song yet, it's also on Spotify and Apple Music and Bandcamp and all those other streaming platforms. Basically anywhere that you probably listen to music, that's going to be there. It's track 9. It is the 9th track on Gummy, which is now available on all those platforms. So thank you all very much for coming by and listening to my detailed breakdown of track 9. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it enriches the meaning for you. And if you have any interpretations of the lyrics that I didn't cover, I'd love to hear what the song means for you as well. All right. Thank you all very much. Have an incredible day.